Hey, hello everyone. This is Coach Ruben. Hope all is well. Another video. Today I am going to make an attempt to connect a couple key concepts that we addressed the first 2 weeks of the fall season and linking it to one could consider it a more team functional concept that is obviously often discussed, and it's going to be focused on the under nines and under tens specifically, the age group in which the build-out line is in effect at the travel level and beyond. Um, Now, to do so effectively, it is important, right, because we can focus on building out of the back, but the key concepts that we touched on last week have an impact whether or not we're going to be successful or not in moving the ball from one end into the middle third and potentially even to the other side of the field. Now, quick recap, and I'll show you the videos. So again, talking about connecting key concepts and playing out of the back. So it's really important to be able to understand key principles before it becomes too functional. Right? We gotta help players gain a better understanding of the game and the principles part of the game. So one of the principles I talked about 2 weeks ago is to move the ball to move the opponent. Right? By doing so, we hopefully create openings, and openings we can then take advantage of to go forwards. Key things that I highlighted there were the angles at which we support the player on the ball, sorry, the distance at which we support the player on the ball, and obviously the timing of the support runs as well. In soccer, it's key to be on time, right? It's not so much about being physically fast; it's about being in the right place at the right time. So that was 2 weeks ago. Move the ball to move the opponent. Last week we talked about the importance of introducing the concept of width, which especially at U9 and U10, but as I observe games as well as go through videos that we have of the different teams, that is often still challenged, but it goes hand in hand with the first concept. And here again, if we have width, we're able to open up the opponent, makes it easier to support the player, provide support off the ball. So, excuse me, with the player on the ball has more options potentially. We're opening up the opponent, right? And it will improve the decision making, right? The more space you have, the easier it becomes to make a good decision. All we're talking about mastering time and space, right? So again, move the ball to move the opponent, connecting it with introducing players to the concept of width, right? Which will help us play out of the back effectively. All right, now we're going to move over to some of the videos that I want to share with you. All right, I'm just going to play the first clip before I talk or provide more content. All right, it's about a 45-second clip. Here you go. So our keeper has the ball. All right, I'm going to go back to the beginning again. All right, so I may pause it a few times. So as the clip progressed, you saw that I found a way to highlight certain players, part of the team. This is a group of players that now is in their second year of playing seven-a-side, who are more comfortable with a couple of key concepts that are really, really important, that need to be introduced at a younger age. You know, how to spread out, how to support each other off the ball, um, the timing of those runs that we make, the distances we support someone. Obviously, the execution can still improve, but there's a few key concepts that are important. So first of all, the keeper starts the ball, as you can tell. So what I've done here is you have the keeper and the two central defenders. All right, I want to highlight that this is the right central defender and the left central defender. It is key that we refer to them as such, because if this person assumes that he is a right defender and this is a left defender, they automatically move out wider than they should, creating a gap in the middle, okay, and hindering our ability to play out of the back effectively. Now, the second thing I want to stress, and this group does that very well, is that when the keeper has the ball, right now it's not a goalkeeper, the keeper has it in his hands. They can receive the ball inside the penalty area, the yellow lines here. I see a lot of teams where the defenders are far away from the keeper, outside the penalty box, and actually closer to the opponent than they are to their teammates. In this instance, further away from your opponent with the help of the build-out line gives you more time. Now, I connected the players with the lines, right? So we have a bit of support, a little triangle going. There you go. Now he has our right center defender has the ball. My left center defender needs to stay connected. And here's where, just pausing it, we struggle a little bit because my right mid is not really to be seen, nor is my center mid truly an option. All right, play on. So he hesitates. There we go. We potentially have options here. This is on an angle. This is probably not an angle. His center defender on the other side is an option, which we can use to change the point of attack, potentially. But it shows you, can we stay connected? Are we support each other in angles here? We get stuck. All right, we win the ball again. What I do like is that a couple of players have been facing back, as you can tell, and they try to use the keeper to change the point of attack. For the keeper here, that is a bit of a challenge, right? Because there was no support there on the left. And there we go again. So now, from the goalkeeper to the center backs or to the defenders who are both inside the box again, in the penalty box, I should say. Nice little sport angles. Together with the right mid, we potentially have some form of diamond. All angles here. And we're moving the ball potentially to move the opponent. Straight line here. So this becomes a challenge. And this happens quite a bit. All right. Hopefully everyone can see all the angles. This is a straight ball. Easy to defend. All right. Maybe this is where we try to use the center mid to change the point of attack, or we go through our left center back again. Okay. This is an easy pass to defend. You see what that leads to as well. Loss of possession. But overall, they started positive. All right, so another video, I'm just gonna let it roll again so you guys can view it once before I provide some additional context here. All right, so as you go through it, just watch it. Right. So they did a decent job here, but I'll highlight it again of drawing the opponents, which did create, once the first line of pressure was broken, an opportunity to go forwards. It may not have been perfect, although I don't believe there's such a thing as perfection. We seek excellence, right? But they drew in so many opponents that once that first line of pressure was broken, they were able to go forwards with numbers up. All right. So there's another piece of this clip that I would like to see. Again. All right, so going back, so talked about two things, the concept of width as well as moving the ball to move the opponent. Now, again, they're not starting on a goal kick, so in this scenario, the opponent doesn't have to adhere to the build-out line. I do want to stress that. However, this group, and you saw it in the first video, has already got it in their system that, hey, if we can't go forward, you should look to change the point of attack, which is basically resetting it, giving us another opportunity to build from the back. And they did so because there's at least 4 defenders here facing back. There we go. All right, so the left center defender and the right center defender in the same space. But now from here on, all right, can we get angles from the goalkeeper to left center back, right center back, and potentially what he's looking for now, even the right mid. Right, the execution isn't great, but the angle wasn't bad. Right, so it had nothing to do with the angle, but because of the position of the right center back coming back to this side, they're able to recover the ball. In this scenario, all this passing, all right, drew in 1, 2, 3, 4, even 5 defenders, which allowed, right, moving the ball to move the opponent, openings, going forward. All right. Now we could utilize the width a little bit more, although we're going to the goal. And in this instance, there's no need for it because the space is there and eventually leads to a goal. We moved the ball to move the opponent to create opportunities to go forwards. I'm going to fast forward through this bit. All right. There we go. Last little piece. Look at this. So the opponent has the ball. Numbers around, we recover, and again, can we reset? Boom. So right center back, left center back, this center mid actually in the right mid. Can we find a way to open up pass lanes on an angle to open up the opponent, utilizing the space, creating width to move the ball to move the opponent? Here we go. Angles. This is an angle. He's opening up. Boom. And you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 players here and a fourth one coming in, chasing the ball right now. Right now, my center mid is moving back into place, so eventually that becomes an angle as well. Now, one that I didn't draw, and they actually did, played it through the center forward. And look at this. We're almost back to where we were before. Another opportunity. But, you know, through moving the ball to move the opponent and utilizing the width. Great patience on the ball. Again, 2 key concepts apply to a more team functional topic, and we got to be careful not to force those team functional topics too quickly, because kids need to learn to play the game effectively. But if you introduce the principles, if we introduce the principles, that I highlighted before, I'll go back to it one more time. Right, moving the ball to move the opponent, introducing players to the concept of width, then the player's ability to act in the scenario shown before will improve as well. So introduce them to these principles. It will impact their overall ability to, for example, play out of the back at 7-a-side more effectively. Again, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, you can reach me at doc@westfieldnjsoccer.com. Enjoy the rest of your week.